is Daniel, and I can help you here today with whatever you need. So just let me know if there's anything I can help you with. Can I offer you something to drink? Something we started recently here. We have some teas and such. I don't really know what you're into, but would you like to see what we have? Okay, cool. Yeah, let me get that for you. Okay, so we keep it in this little box. We like to let customers pick out whatever looks best to them. I'll go ahead and read the options to you here. Okay, so we have this honey lemon ginseng green tea. Sounds pretty good. We have a vanilla chai. I feel like you can't go wrong with this. An oriental white tea. And if you want to keep things a little bit more low-key, a decaf chai as well. So those are our 4 options. Any of those sound good for you? We have water and mugs here as well, of course. The vanilla chai. That's what I'd go with too. Yeah, here. Let me make one for you real quick. See, we have these very aesthetic mugs here. So, let me go ahead and get a filled one, and I'll go ahead and make the tea for you real quick. Okay. Okay, let me nice and easy. Oh, it smells so good. Smell that. God, it smells amazing. Okay. Okay. There's that. I'll let you go ahead and steep that to your liking, but I'll just go ahead and put that in front of you here while we continue our talk about what you're into and what I can do for you today. Sound good? Okay, great. And if you'd like any other drinks, anything like that, just let me know. I'm here to help. Okay. So, music. What are you into? What kind of stuff are you looking for today? What can I help you look for? Okay, good. That sounds like something that I can help you with. Perfect. So I'm glad you're into a variety of genres. I don't really have one that I'm super specialized in either. Are there any like decades that you're particularly into? Do you like pre-2000 stuff, maybe more 70s, 80s, possibly 90s? Are you more like 2010s-ish? Where are you at with that? Okay, that's good. Okay, so variety of decades, variety of genres, but focusing a bit more on on some of the modern stuff. Yeah, no, that's perfect. We have a lot of stuff that will satisfy what you're looking for, it sounds like. So, here's what I can do for you. I can browse through the shelves. You can follow it if you like. And I'll pick out some of the records that are popular, or maybe some that are less popular, but I know they're good records, that kind of suit what seems to be your taste, and I can show them to you. I can tell you a little bit about them if you'd like. I'm not here to talk your ear off. And we can kind of go from there. Does that sound good to you? Excellent. So, give me just a few minutes, and I'm going to go head to the back, get a couple records, maybe browse through the shelves too, make a little bit of a stack here for you, and I'll show it to you in a sec. Sound good? Cool. Alright, hang tight. Hey, I'm back. I got some records over here for you, and I'm really excited to show you what I brought here. So, let's get it started. The first one I have is this one. This album, if you're not familiar, is For Emma, Forever Ago. And this is the debut album from musician Bon Iver, real name Justin Vernon. It's a really special album. So, there's a bit of a backstory with this. Do you want to hear it? Okay. So, basically, to summarize, Mr. Vernon, Justin Vernon, was having a pretty bad time in his life. He, I believe, was diagnosed with mono, had a liver disease, went through a breakup, and needed something different in life. So he became a bit of a recluse for a few months and recorded music in his father's Wisconsin hunting lodge, and that music that he recorded there eventually became For Emma, Forever Ago, that you see here. This was released in 2007, so it's over a decade old. It's coming up on 2 decades old, in fact, but trust me, this record strongly stands the test of time. If you're into indie folk stuff, this one's especially for you. It has a lot of high falsetto singing, which Justin Vernon's known for, and horn arrangements on some of its songs, which make them especially memorable. And this is one of my favorite modern folk records, undoubtedly. I strongly recommend this album, if that sounds appealing to you. So, just think about that as I continue showing you the other records. Alright, the next one. 70s and 80s, and had a really strong influence on the development of ambient music. So music without words, kind of what we understand now, just be sort of vibey instrumentals. He had a strong role in developing that genre. But this is not just instrumentals. This is Brian Eno as a rock star. So this record could be classified kind of as like art rock. So rock music with a lot of avant-garde, experimental, boundary-pushing ideas in it, and different influences too. Electronic instruments, electronic influences, different world music influences. And the cover kind of always reminds me of those pictures where it's like, name one thing in this photo, and it's like AI generated, so there's nothing actually in it. This always kind of looks like one of those to me. So, this is a really, really cool listen. For being a record released in the 70s, it is shockingly ahead of its time. I think it has aged extremely well, at least sonically. Some of the subject matter, or like words used, are a little bit derogatory now, I must admit. I must warn you there. But, I guess, not to excuse it, but it was, I guess, just part of the time and culture around when it was created. Regardless, though, the songs here are very, very pleasant to listen to. Here's the back of the LP. That there is Brian Eno in the 70s. Looked a lot different than he does now. Now he's old and bald. Here he was young with luscious locks. So, this record, obviously really different from the last one. A lot older. It's going to be a lot more, I guess, energetic in terms of its sound. I mean, this is rock music. The last one was folk. So, what do you expect? So, what are you thinking? Too early to say. Fair. Fair. Alright. Let's keep looking though. Alright. Coming back to the modern era a bit with this one. You excited to see what it is? This one's still sealed. Adele, 30. Isn't she beautiful? The back is quite simple. It's just the track list in gold text against a blue background. So, you're likely familiar with this album if you've had the radio on in the past 3 years or so. This record came out in 2021 and had a couple hit songs on it, most notably Easy on Me and Oh My God was the other major hit off of this one. So, this album is standard Adele, I would say, but different in terms of subject matter. A lot of her songs are very emotional in nature, but often more upbeat, or at least optimistic in some sense. Whereas with this release, she looks kind of to a darker part of her life, of the divorce that she had gone through starting in the late 2010s, and kind of its effect on her life and her sons. You can see even in the cover, just looking at her face. Whereas in her previous releases, she was looking head on at the camera. Here, she's focused more to the side, with a very stern, somber look on her face. This album's pretty beautiful, in my opinion. It has some more rebellious and spiteful moments to it, as well as some very cathartic moments. I really love the track Hold On this record toward the back end. It's a slow burner, but it builds and it really kind of offers a lot of release as to the feelings that she's built up on this one. So, like I said, I assume you're at least somewhat familiar with Adele's discography, or possibly even this album, but I highly recommend that you consider looking into getting this record to add to your collection. It's a bit of a modern classic, but moving on here. This is the one I've been most excited to show you. This is Ants from Up There, from a band called Black Country New Road. Now that you've taken a nice look at the cover, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this record, if that's okay. So, this album came out in 2022, early 2022, like January, February-ish, and is released by a band called Black Country New Road, and they come from England, and they could fall under kind of the post-punk or post-rock category. If you're familiar with a band called Black Midi, these guys are somewhat similar to them. If not, that's cool. But this record is gorgeous from top to bottom. And the record goes from these giant, emotional, cathartic swells to these low-key, beautiful, intimate moments, all of which are guided by lead singer Isaac Wood. So, with Isaac, this was his last album with Black Country New Road, only his second album with them as well, and had since departed from the band for mental health issues, which is a bit of a shame, but I've read that he's doing better now and working at a bake shop, so I hope he is actually doing better. So, this album has received a lot of praise from music critics and fans of the band alike, and for very good reason. This is probably my favorite record that I've heard this decade so far, and I highly recommend it. This LP is a collector's edition and a box set, so let me open the box and show you what comes inside. One of the most interesting parts of this box set is this lyric booklet. This was one of the single covers for the record. And it comes with all of the lyrics for all of the songs and photographs of the band while they were playing or just chit-chatting during the sessions. Let me show you my favorite songs page. Here it is. The song, if you can read it there, is called Snow Globes. And it's a beautiful song about King Henry and his wife, Anne Boleyn. various posters of all the different single covers. This was the covers for, actually, I'm struggling to remember. This might have been for Concord. I'm not positive, but this one was the one for Snow Globes. I remember this one because the song made me cry the first time I heard it. Maybe I can do the same for you. So, this is Ants from Up There by Black Country New Road, and gets a strong thumbs up from me if you're interested in getting it. If not, that's cool too. Won't hurt my feelings. I didn't make the album. Okay, so I know you mentioned you're into some hip-hop music and trying to get a little bit more into it. So I made sure to pull at least one hip-hop record for you here. This is Doris by Earl Sweatshirt. There's Mr. Sweatshirt right in the front. And the back of the LP is similar. So, as you can kind of see from the cover, this is a rather dark record, sonically and lyrically. It came out when Earl was only about 16 years old, and sounds like it was written by someone double his age. The writing is clever, the delivery is intelligent, and the beat selection, the production on this thing is, how should I put it? It is both discomforting and deeply comforting at the same time. So, Earl Sweatshirt was a member of the rap collective Odd Future, along with people like Tyler, the Creator, Frank Ocean. Those are probably the best known ones. Like, there's a few others too, like Sid the Kid, like Taco, but like I said, Frank and Tyler are probably the ones that you have heard of the most, and Earl. So, he was a young kid when he made this record, and it has the passion of a young person, but the skill of a much older person. This record has also received a lot of praise, and duly so. Even the cover is kind of unsettling. Not just kind of, in fact, it's quite unsettling, but there's also a very relaxing quality to it too. I do think if you want an interesting hip-hop listen, this is a fantastic record to pick for that. I don't think you'll be let down. So, keep this one in the back of your mind. And let me show you the next one. Okay, a bit of a stylistic 180 with this one. This is a synth pop record from a duo called Magdalena Bay. This is Mercurial World by Magdalena Bay. masterclass in synth pop. Magdalena Bay is comprised of two people, Mika Tenenbaum and Matthew Lowen. Yes, that's right. And they're both very creative and kind individuals. They do a lot of streaming, and I've had the pleasure to meet Mika in person, and she is just the sweetest. So, but the music is very heavily produced. It's an experience when you put this album on. This is not a low-key listen. This is a transport you to another, more fun world kind of listen. Let me show you the back. This art's beautiful too. I just wish I could go wherever this was. The music kind of makes me feel like I'm there. So, what to say about this album? It is fun to its core. This music feels like it is trying to elicit a feeling of a sense that you are making a memory in the moment. My favorite track on this one is the song You Lose, because it has these crunchy 8-bit synths that sound straight out of a video game. And Mika's voice on it is just perfect. I love the song. Give it a listen. So, if you're not familiar with this band and feel like synth pop might be something up your alley, this record is certainly for you. How's that tea, by the way? The chai. Tastes good. Good. Okay, I have a couple more records to show you here before we make our final decisions. Scratch that. I have one more. For this one, I broke out a true classic. Wish You Were Here, Pink Floyd. The iconic album cover in all its glory. Let's peek at the back. This one's almost more emotionally evocative than the picture on the front. The faceless man with the detached foot. This is beautiful. God, I love this record. So, this is one of the greatest progressive rock albums of all time, and consists of a very short track list because two of the songs, the first song and the last song, are a 9-part symphony called Shine On, You Crazy Diamond, and is about the guitarist of the band, Sid Barrett, had left because of deteriorating mental health a few years prior to this album's release. So, this is their second concept record, the first one being the even more iconic Dark Side of the Moon. But with this being their second concept record, this is actually their 9th overall release. So they were well into their discography by the time this record came out. Interestingly, I've read that the album did not receive a lot of praise when it first came out. It seemed that critics found that it was not up to par with their previous releases, but it seems that that sentiment has largely washed away, and this album is now thoroughly beloved. So, a true classic with this one. Wish You Were Here, Pink Floyd. You can't go wrong with it. You play this on, you put this on, and you'll impress anyone with your taste. Trust me. If impressing people is something that you're into. But if you want my advice, play whatever you like. So, but this just so happens to be something that is very easy to like. So, I do highly suggest giving it a listen if you have not. And if you have, consider getting it on vinyl because this is awesome. So, that wraps up all of the records that I have picked out for you today. I hope I didn't take too much of your time. So, okay, now let's start making our final decisions. What from the pile there caught your attention the most? Okay, those are great picks. You've chosen really well. So, you are interested in the Ants from Up There box set. This one is on sale right now. It's usually $45 because it's a box set, but right now it's only $28. A lot better, right? So, this is a good time to get it. It's a cool collector's piece. So, in addition to the modern history of Ants from Up There, you also have tastefully chosen Wish You Were Here from Pink Floyd. This one, we get a lot of copies in of it, so it's not terribly expensive. This one's $22. Yeah. So, I know this one will look really cool in your collection, as will the Ants from Up There. And I really appreciate you letting me talk your ear off today a little bit, and hopefully you found it interesting. Let me go ahead and ring you up for these two items. So, I said 28 on Ants from Up There, and 22 on Wish You Were Here. So, that's an even 50. You get a gift card? Perfect. Alright. Leftover from Christmas. Excellent. Okay, let me ring you up here. God, these are great albums. Okay. You are all set. Here are your records. I'll hand them to you. Here. Perfect. So, I hope you've had a good time here today. Please come back here to Commonplace Records soon. We get restocks all the time, so check out and see what we got. And if you'd like to speak with me again, just ask for Daniel. I hope you have a good rest of your evening here, and thank you so much for stopping by. I'll see you.